I wanted to make this video to give you an idea of how far you can go if you just decide to back yourself and embark on this journey of continuous self-improvement. When I was 14, I could not even look people in the eye. And now, 10 years later, I dance with strangers every week and I make friends wherever I travel. When I was young, I was obese, I was very fat, and I was overweight to the point where I could not even do one single push-up. And now, even though I'm far from the ideal physique, my dream physique that I like, I can say with confidence that I am pretty fit and healthy. And this took over a long time to achieve, but it has been worth it. It's always about the journey, not the destination. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about my story. So when I was young, I was bullied. I was bullied almost every day by people, by my peers, and I was depressed most of the time. The only thing that was going for me at that time was that I was a top student. I was good at homework, I was good at school, I was getting good grades, but that's pretty much it. Apart from that, I had almost nothing going on for me at school. I was ostracized, I was excluded, I was picked the very last from my sports teams and activities. I wasn't getting invited to any occasions, no parties whatsoever. There was one time I remember where one of the students posted out a birthday invitation to everybody, and I told them that I'll come. The next day, they told me that they were at capacity, that they couldn't host me. Right? I was the only one to be told that. So trust me when I say that I know how you feel, okay? This world isn't fair, and I despise that fact. It is cruel, it's unkind, okay? It's a mean and nasty place, obligatory Rocky quote. But if you decide to focus on yourself, focus on the things you can control, focus on your strengths, trying to better your flaws and your weaknesses, you will find lots of like-minded people, lots of amazing people on this journey, and you will be happy. Things will get better. Here's what I did step by step. I realized that I couldn't let my body weight be that big anymore. Okay, I was completely overweight. I think it was an obese state when I calculated the BMI and stuff. I was incredibly unhealthy. I would be eating all the junk food. I was addicted to video games. And the first thing I decided was that I wanted to lose weight, right? And I worked hard on it. I worked relentlessly on it day and night. I cut down dinner. Unknowingly, I was doing what's called an intermittent fasting. And I started eating healthier options, started exercising, and now I have lost a lot of weight. There's still a long way for me to go, but I can confidently say that I've come a pretty long way myself. When you lose weight and you look better, you will inevitably end up feeling better, okay? That's a very important thing. When you look better, you will feel better. The second thing I worked on was my communication, or my social skills. Because of my, you could say, bullied childhood, I wouldn't say traumatic, because compared to millions of other children in the world, my childhood was better, a lot better than them. But still, because of my bullied childhood, my social skills were very stunted. I had negative thoughts running in my head every single day. I had low self-esteem. My self-confidence was all-time low. Have you seen the meme where it's like how deep something is, and then the deepest is the first they start off it with Mariana's Trench, and then the final thing was a black hole. The last thing, that black hole, was basically what my self-confidence was. It was all-time low. I hated myself, I hated the world, and I hated people. I wanted nothing to do with people. I just wanted to play video games. I just wanted to read books. And I was letting life control me rather than controlling my own life, controlling my own destiny. And thankfully, I can say now that I am in full, complete control of my life. When I decided to work on my social skills, I stood on the shoulders of the giants, and there's a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command. Shout out to my man, Charlie Hubert from Charisma on Command. He is absolute gold. The moment that I discovered his channel was a complete game changer. I started following his tactics and charisma for introverts and started getting better and better. Eventually, I branched out to other people who are also masters of their craft. So Finn Gang, the communication coach, local Australian, and Vanessa Van Edwards. Just to give you a few names out. When you work on your social skills, when you work on your social anxiety, and when you successfully overcome social anxiety, it's like an entire weight has been lifted off your shoulders. I grew up watching Naruto, right? And I bet if you're an introvert, chances are that you've probably seen Naruto. Weep. So in Naruto, I'm going to spoil it a little bit. There's a character called Lee, and he was fighting another character called his name Gaara, right? And then at the beginning of the fight, he was slow, he was clumsy, but he still held his ground pretty well. And then his master, his sensei, Guy, told him to, all right, Lee, time to get rid of your weights. And then he immediately unshackled his chains. And he became like the fastest ninja in that episode. And to extrapolate that to real life, that is what's going to happen to you if you decide to no longer let social anxiety control your life, ruin your life. Because if you just let it control you, what you're doing is essentially you let it dictate your mood, your everyday feeling, what you can't do, all the opportunities that you would have had, all the relationships, all the amazing connections that you would have built, but you did not, because you were too busy listening to that niggling voice in your head, okay? And I've been there. I have lost so many opportunities, so many chances, so many friendships because I was so scared. I was afraid. This social phobia of talking to someone, talking to another person. It was so bad that I had to rehearse what I was going to say to people. For example, even simple things like "excuse me," I had to rehearse that multiple times before I could say it. And even when I said it, I couldn't even look into their eye. I would be like, "Excuse me, I need to pass." That's how bad it was. And now I can talk to anyone, any stranger on the street, in the world. It doesn't matter. Friendly countries, unfriendly countries. It doesn't matter. Police, politicians, shopkeepers. It doesn't matter wherever. I can start a conversation with anybody. And I want you to learn that skill set because it will pay dividends. When you first learn how to overcome this, right? Overcome this thing called overcome this social anxiety, you're going to feel like a bloody imposter. You're going to feel terrible. You're going to feel like, oh, what the hell am I even doing? I shouldn't be doing this. I want to stop. I just want to be in my bed. Or I just want to play video games. And that's normal. I went through the exact same thing. It was so uncomfortable. It was like stepping into new shoes, becoming a new person. But that's the point. Growing pains. That's why they're called growing pains in the first place. If you're not struggling, you're not growing. And what you are, my friend, is you are growing. And when you're on this journey, I want you to stay clear from a couple of things. When you consume information on the internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, doesn't matter. I want you to be aware, right? I want you to question everything, even question me, question the content you're watching. Right? Don't listen to me blindly. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. Question everything. Don't fall into extremism. Don't fall into extreme views. Black pill. Screw black pill. I hate black pill with a passion. It promotes defeatism and basically sucks away every single hope left, every little hope left from people, especially young men and young boys, right? I'm making this video in hopes that someone younger than me, right, 14-year-old, 13-year-old me could watch this and learn from it and do the things that they'll take you to where you want to be, okay? Making friends, talking to people all over the world. It doesn't, you don't even have to be an extrovert, right? You don't have to be an extrovert to overcome social anxiety, but you may end up becoming an extrovert. It's like a side effect. A lot of people think I'm extrovert. Until recently, I was still very much introverted. Introverted doesn't mean shy, but I was extremely shy back then. Not so much now. I still need my alone time. I prefer one-on-one quality interactions over group activities. But still, the point is, it's social skills is worth learning how to beat social anxiety. It's worth it, and you absolutely should do it, because what is the alternative? What's the alternative? Just give up and go into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s being afraid of the world, being afraid of what people are going to say, but what you're caring too much that you're not living life, and that's sad, right? And a bit of a rant is that now we're in the age of AI revolution, ChatGPT, right? OpenAI recently rolled out an update where right, if you're watching this in the future, things might change a little bit, but at the moment, right, they recently rolled out an update. And in this new update, they made ChatGPT less of a yes man, right, and more of a rigid, they changed the tone a little bit so that it doesn't just blindly say yes, it doesn't blindly agree with whatever you're saying. And turns out millions of people don't like it because they want to have a relationship with the bloody chatbot, bloody AI, and that, my friend, is sad. That is messed up. No man is an island. We humans, we're all designed to go out there and interact with people and have quality time and be there for one another. And as good as talking to chatbots and AI sound, it is messed up because, number one, you're not talking to a real person. Number two, it's fake. It's not real, right? And real relationships, real connections, real conversations are messy. They can be frustrating, but they're raw, they're authentic, and they're honest. At the end of the day, you want to be a truth seeker, right? You want to let your guard down. You want other people to believe you, to trust you, and you want to help one another out. That's what you want to do. So once I overcame social anxiety, I started paying more attention to the way I look. So your fashion is very important. I am not an expert in fashion. I'm still learning what sort of clothes I like to wear. I like to look good in. There are a ton of YouTubers you can follow. One of my favorite YouTubers when it comes to fashion is Brendan, not Sanderson, I forgot his name, but it's Brendan Belfort. Shout out to Brendan Belfort, absolute GOAT when it comes to fashion. He's made me feel like I own the place whenever I walk into a social event. So check him out if you want. You want to be wearing clothes that fit you. You want to. You don't want it to be too big. You don't want it to be too small. Okay, and this is where going to the gym and exercising and losing weight, if you are fat, comes into play. Okay, Unfortunately, this world is very materialistic, it is very judgmental, and looks absolutely matter. Whoever says looks don't matter are either lying or they're good looking, or they just don't want to accept that fact by putting the head into the sand. Okay? And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I wish we don't put that much attention and focus on looks, and rather someone's personality or the way they make someone feel. Okay, but that's not how the world works, unfortunately, and I'm sad to say that. I'm afraid to break it to you. So when you can't beat them, you join them. Okay? Focus on improving your health, and a lot of things naturally improve together with it. So if you're not hitting the gym, I want you to be constantly hitting the gym. And it doesn't even have to be the gym. There are a lot of fit people that are very fit without stepping into the gym in the first place. They do something like calisthenics, they do dancing. Dancing is a great option. You get to talk to people, meet new people, improve your social skills, your charisma, your confidence. And you also lose weight because it actually is a physically intensive workout in a way. It can be running, swimming, basketball, whatever sports, okay, football, soccer, whatever. Just keep moving. Another side effect of moving, right, improving your health and increasing exercise, is that you reduce the risks of getting depressed. Here is a quote that I really like. Depression can't hit a moving target, okay? A lot of smart people, if you're watching this, you're one of them, are prone to depression more so than people that don't introspectively think, people that don't reflect, right? And that's what happened to me. All I did was think. I was a serial chronic thinker. You need to spend less time up here and more time out here. And tell you what, it is really, really hard to feel sad or depressed when you're lifting heavy weights or when you're breathless. Sure, you might feel some tinges afterwards, but it will make you feel better. Because again, to hammer in the point, what is the alternative? If you stay in your home, you're depressed, you don't do anything, you don't go to therapy, you don't talk to people, you stay at home, it's a negative vicious cycle, okay? And to break that, you need to exercise, you need to eat well. What you eat, your diet, absolutely affects how you feel. And you need to move more, okay? And you need to keep doing the things that used to bring you joy, even though you don't feel like it. This is the important thing about depression and about mental health. If you're in a rut, you need to keep doing the things that bring you joy, even though you don't feel like doing it. It sounds crazy. This is what I learned in when working as a mental health nurse, when listening in to psychiatrist sessions with patients. You need to, let's say you really enjoy playing the piano or you really enjoy running, right? But now you're in a rut and you don't feel like doing it. I want you to shut that voice in your head and just go out. Go out and run. Go out and play the piano. Do the things that bring you joy, even though you don't feel like it. Because when you do them, that's how you're going to start feeling happy. Okay? In this incredibly shallow world where all the focus is on appearances and looks, we are not paying as much attention to our mental health. You know, everything's about looks maxing. What about mental health maxing? Right? Everybody should be mental health maxing. In fact, I would put mental health maxing over looks maxing. Once you have an exercise routine, once you've overcome your social anxiety, once you start dressing better, eating better, I'll tell you what, you're doing 90% better. You're 90% better off than most people who do nothing, right? The first step is always the hardest. You got to take the first step. It is hard, it is painful, but you just have to do it. I've come a really long way, and looking back now, I thank myself for continuing on this journey. Like, this self-improvement never stops. You truly can never stop. You got to have a lifelong goal, a lifelong purpose that you can never accomplish. But still, you feel joy because you know that you're on this journey. I hope that this has been useful, and I hope that it has shown you what you can accomplish if you just decide to back yourself. Because nobody's going to do it for you. But 10 years down the line, you'll look back on this day that you started and thank yourself.